Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have to first apologise for the lighting. It's really not ideal. It probably would be better if I moved, actually, my camera. Let's have a go. This is slightly better, I would say. Let's move my fan. Even though I said I was going to take a couple of days break, I watched this really inspirational video about this, about basically like how we all have our own like superpower, which is really interesting, and it's just brightened my day up completely on a day where I actually really needed it, to be honest. So and I do think it kind of fits the criteria of like everyone's different, because we are all kind of like geared towards this idea of money, profit, and basically work ability on various things, and we are all very involved in ourselves, so our lives tend to revolve around work because that's kind of how we live. But it takes the inspiration out of life, and logistically even just down to a core level of how we think, because it does. I saw this really nice quote, which was that the world needs you to be you, and that sounds, I don't want this to be like cliche, I want to relate it to like the everyday, because the world like does need you to be you at the end of the day. Like everyone wants to always fit some sort of let's zoom in a bit because I feel like I'm too far away and I don't want to move, so nope, we're gonna zoom back out. Sorry, the lighting's not great, but the fact is, like, so many people like all want to be someone, like for a job or whatever. They're trying to fit this box that someone else wants them to, but the fact is, God made you for who you are. You need to follow what you want to do. Like sometimes following feelings isn't always good, but following a general move in your heart and how you feel that you need to go, we're all going to do that anyway. But it's important, obviously, as we move into a new astrological era, to get more in tune with that and accept that it might not be to the status quo. Take me back to High School Musical, stick to the status quo song, which is fun. But I feel like society, we are all kind of like programmed into like these boxes in professions often, and obviously I don't think this is intentional though. It's just kind of like how we think because of like various stuff like that. And I saw this other nice quote, which was, don't trade who you are for who you think the world needs to be. Basically just repeated myself again, but yeah, it's like having intention is good, because it's like the questions you ask yourself on a daily basis can like really like affect the way you think. And I know this from therapy myself. Like I'm a completely transformed person from when I was when I first went into the mental health service. I really was, and to be honest, like I was just, I'd only gone through the school system by that point, which left me, I had on paper a lot of good things. I had a family that was probably somewhat proud of me. I had a nice body physique. I was working hard on my body. Obviously working hard. I was very slender. Some people might say I had youth on my side, and looks. I had friends. I had a future in front of me. I had good GCSEs. I had good future perspectives, and everything that the world deems to be helpful and healthy. I was so in such a bad place mentally, and it's shown me that I can't even hold on to the fact, I can't even sit still while thinking about that, because I was that bad. And obviously I got into the mental health system, which I have videos on, but that's not what we're talking about. But it showed me that nothing the world deems is gonna fulfill yourself in an inner need. Like, anyway, so like intention is like really important, and like the way you think, the questions you ask yourself. Like, so the questions this bloke was talking about was, what do you live for, what do you love for, and what matters to you? So that's really interesting. Asking those questions would be really helpful. For example, if you're asking what's going to get me to my next paycheck, which is something that stays on my head if I've spent expensive money, if I've spent money on a good camera and like I don't have a stable job because I'm still trying to get my online store working and getting money for that. But it's something I'm hugely passionate about, and obviously I do this as a hobby, but like I would potentially do another job, but I'm passionate about this, like so not to say like I would never get another job, but like I want to see if I can make this work first, because I want to follow my passions, like, and I think obviously logistically it can work. But dropping my toenails on the floor, that's something else, that's my own business. But it's like showing gratitude for like the everyday, like literally he was talking about how literally breathing every day is such a gift, and from someone where someone has died in my life recently, and they weren't much, it doesn't matter, but someone died, it gives you another reminder that the clocks, like life is so short, and if you don't do what you love, it's really just not what, you know, you get to a point where you're like, I need to just live my life how I want to live it, like our time on this planet is limited. And the fact is, we all have a superpower, like we do, like the fact is we do, like people with different things have different powers, like people, the fact is some people are more privileged, and I do think there is a reason for this. Sometimes some people, like I think the world works in a specific way, but often society deems some people that have superpowers to be people that are millionaires, that have got amazing business skills, and that's their superpower. But someone that is like got a really, really lovely energy, that's a homeless man, that like, you know, brightens everyone's day with one smile, that doesn't seem like a that doesn't always, it isn't always deemed as a superpower, even though it is. And basically, eventually, I do think, like, mental trauma aside, like, beliefs are a choice. Obviously once you process them, I'm not saying that like you can't, like you can just process all your beliefs in one go, but often we're like obviously programmed for certain beliefs through the school system. You might have beliefs of like a teacher that you really didn't think about and whether they serve you now. So eventually, your beliefs can be changed, especially if you've had like depression or something, like you can often like change the way you think. And yeah, just like the other thing I'll say, which is, it sounds like a cliche, but it's so true, like it's not about who you are, but it's who you want to be, and like if that's visualizing that helps for you. But my parents have always been very inspirational, talky kind of thing to me, but they have great lives. They both have full-time jobs, they have a great massive house, they always have done, and they've travelled the world in their younger years. It's not like they're bums that just kind of like philosophize all the time, but you've got to think some like really famous philosophers were like the richest people in the world. Like, does not to say that you have to have a minimum wage full-time job to be, you know, enough. Like, this world, or like, you know, the devil's always on our shoulder saying you're not enough, this isn't enough, you need to be doing this, you know. And the fact is, it's more important to follow your passion rather than feel like you're beating yourself up for something that's not on your road. Because I even went to sixth form, just a little note of something just to bring it down to earth a little bit. I went to sixth form and did, I wouldn't say terribly, but I did not enjoy the course, and I got okay grades, but it's just to show that like you can just really hate something and still not succeed. Like, being passionate about something means that you're going to want to drive for it. And like now, I think if you're in alignment with yourself, it's going to be hard to be driven towards something that you really despise doing anyway. Like, obviously you can find jobs that you enjoy and that you get some satisfaction from, and you are good enough for you, but it's just not, it's not going to be anyway. It might be, I'm not saying jobs aren't good, but obviously my passion was to do this like online store thing for me, so like when I street sale anyway. But I think the message of this mainly is like, we all have a superpower. Like, it's something to just be living by, and it's also a sign to be nicer to other people, because in a busy world it's so hard to let people that really do give out stuff be lost in an uncertain world. And yeah, the world's so quick to judge people for being narcissistic and like all that stuff. And I'm not to say that these things aren't valid, but people are all intrinsically a mix of good and bad. Definitely, yeah, I don't want to get too deep there, but yeah, this has been an interesting video, one I enjoyed making, and it's brightened my day, so I hope it brightens yours. But yeah, thank you. How cringy. Thanks anyway, bye.